بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي نويت التعلم وتعليم والتذكر وتذكير ونفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وبسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم ودعاء الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. Okay, so inshallah we're going to be going through Surah al-Qāri'ah. Surah al-Qāri'ah. This is Surah number 101 in the Quran. So we mentioned previously that there are 4 surahs that are bunched together that have a unique connection. Surah Zilzal, Surah Adiyat, Surah Qāri'ah, and Surah Takathur. So Surah Takathur we did last week. Today we're doing Surah Qāri'ah, so we're going backwards. Adiyat will be next, and then Zilzal will be the one after that. Now, there's a common theme, there's a theme between these surahs, a connection. Surah Zilzal, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا, speaks about the Day of Judgment, Akhirah. Okay? Surah Adiyat speaks about the dunya. Okay? Surah Qāri'ah, the one we're going to go to today, speaks about the Akhirah, and Surah Takathur, which we did last week, spoke about the dunya. So there's like a connection, Akhirah, dunya. Okay? Ultimately, it speaks, but the common theme is the issue of ultimate accountability. Ultimately, a person is going to be made accountable in front of the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with regards to his deeds. Okay? So that's that. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he begins the first 3 ayahs, al-Qāri'ah, mal-Qāri'ah, wa ma adraka mal-Qāri'ah. Now this word Qāri'ah, it has this meaning of like having a loud banging noise. A loud, like the meaning is like a loud calamity or an event that takes place but which has like a loud noise and it affects you. Like the Qara'a means when 2 things hit each other and the noise is so much that the noise is unpleasant. Like for example, a car crash. You hear a car crash and you're just like, oh man, that doesn't sound good, right? Or if, for example, like, so it has this meaning of, like, for example, if you have like somebody being beaten up with a whip and you hear against his skin, like you hear that sound and it's like, doesn't feel nice, does it? It's like the sound is unsettling, it's startling. And so this word qara'a, qaf, ra'ain, it also is used like, for example, qara' al-bab, when like you have like a startling knock on the door. And like say in the middle of the night, someone just starts banging the door. You just be startled by it, right? So this word qari'ah has this meaning of a sound or a noise or an event that is striking and unsettling. That's what this means, qara'a. Okay? Now, so we translate qara as like this striking calamity. And if I just say al-Qāri'ah, the striking calamity, you'd be like, what? What about it? Okay? So then, like, the natural question, well, what calamity? So then Allah Ta'ala says, mal-Qāri'ah, what is the calamity then? Okay? So Allah Ta'ala is already presuming the question that you're going to have in your mind. Yeah, like al-Qāri'ah. Like, what Qāri'ah? Yeah, mal-Qāri'ah. What is the Qāri'ah? Okay, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِعَةُ. What will make you realize what the Qāri'ah is? Okay, So the styling of the word, like the way Allah Ta'ala says these ayahs, it's meant to be striking. It's meant to kind of cause like a sense of sudden shaking. Okay, like for example, if like some of the ulama say that there's something hidden here. Qari'ah here is being used to describe one of the states of Qiyamah. Like one of the things that will happen in the Qiyamah is that there will be clashing and like noise that will be striking, okay, in in the Day of Judgment, right? And so the point is that it's almost like hidden here. Al-Qari'ah, ستأتي إليك, it will come to you. That's hidden. Yeah, that's one of the opinions. Another opinion is, let's say for example, there's a fire in a house. So the point is that Allah is just saying Al-Qari'ah, the striking calamity. It's not a complete sentence, right? But let's say, for example, if you want to try and get someone's attention, you might not like say a full sentence. Like if I say, if there's a fire in the house, I'm not going to say, oh, hello, I just wanted to inform you that there's a fire in the next room and I really think you should get out. You want to say, you say, fire, fire, fire. That's what you do, right? Of course, that's exactly what you do. So here Allah Ta'ala is saying, Qari'ah, striking calamity, mal Qari'ah. So the way Allah Ta'ala is saying this is meant to kind of bring you like a state of shock, like what? Okay. So Allah Ta'ala then says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِعَةُ. What can make you know what the striking calamity is? What is the striking calamity? Like, what Allah Ta'ala is saying here, that you don't really realize, okay, what this is. You do not really realize what this calamity is. Now, like I mentioned, this word like qara'a has this meaning of like striking. For example, qara'a al-bab, like a startling knock at the door. Okay, or they would sometimes, like the Arabs traditionally would use, like for example, a car crash. They would call that a qari'ah. So the Arabs have this perception of what a qari'ah is, some loud bang that that unsettles you. But Allah Ta'ala is saying, no, you don't really know what that means. The al-Qāri'ah, mal-Qāri'ah, wa ma adraka mal-Qāri'ah. This calamity, what is the calamity? You don't really realize what the calamity is. What's going to make you understand what the calamity is? This shows Allah Ta'ala's power. Because Allah Ta'ala has power over this language. And a word that the Arabs might seem like, yeah, we know what Qari'ah is. Allah Ta'ala is saying, no. What really is the calamity? Do you realize what the calamity really is? Okay, not a car crash, okay, or a sound that you hear in the middle of the night. No, it's much greater than that. Okay, it's much greater than that. Okay. We must also understand when the qari'ah can take place. So this concept of kind of clashing and clanging and noise that is unsettling, when will that happen? So basically, what is described in the verse of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and when He decides for the Day of Judgment to take place, He will order the angel Israfil to blow the trumpet. So the ulama now discuss how many blows of the horn will take place. Some ulama say there will be two. One blow of the horn will cause the entire cosmos to go into non-existence. Everything will die. Everything. The second blow will then cause everything to be resurrected. That's one opinion. Two. The other opinion is that there will be three. Okay? And those three are described by some ayahs in the Quran. So the first horn is supposed to be when there will be a state of chaos, madness. And this is described in one of the ayahs in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhan nasu taqu rabbakum inna zalzalata as-sa'ati la shay'un azim. O people, have consciousness of your Lord. Indeed, the convulsion or the kind of the shaking of the hour is a great terrible thing. يَوْمَ تَرَوْنَهَا تَذْهَلُ كُلُّ مُرْضِعَةٍ عَمَّا أَرْضَعَتْ. On that day, you will see every nursing mother will be distracted from her child. وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ nursing meaning breastfeeding. وَتَضَعُ كُلُّ ذَاتِ حَمْلٍ حَمْلَهَا. And every pregnant woman will just give us birth straight away. Will abort the child, will have like a stillbirth. Okay. وَتَرَى النَّاسَ سُكَارَى وَمَا هُمْ بِسُكَارَى. And you'll see people like being drunk, walking around like in a state of madness. وَمَا هُمْ بِسُكَارَى. But actually they're not drunk. وَلَكِنَّ عَذَابَ اللَّهِ شَدِيدٌ. But in reality, the punishment of Allah is severe. So this basically shows that as soon as the trumpet is blown, the first time the trumpet is blown, everyone goes into a state of madness. The second blow is when everything dies. And that's described by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when He says in Surah Zumar, وَنُفِخَ فِي السُّورِ فَصَعِقَ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ. And the horn will be blown. وَنُفِخَ فِي السُّورِ. And whoever is in the heavens and whoever is on the earth will fall dead. فَصَعِقَ إِلَّا مَا شَاءَ اللَّهُ. Except who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows. ثُمَّ نُفِخَ فِيهِ أُخْرَى. Then, and this is blow number 3, it will be blown into again. وَنُفِخَ فِيهِ أُخْرَى فَإِذَا هُمْ قِيَامٌ يَنْظُرُونَ. Then they will be standing, looking. Okay, so they will die, everything will die, and then قِيَامٌ يَنْظُرُونَ. They will be standing and watching. Okay, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing the Qiyamah. So the point is, when all of the entire creation is brought up back into existence, then this Qāri'ah will take place. Then this clanging and noise and craziness will be taking place. Okay, people will be in a state of pandemonium as soon as they're resurrected. They don't know what's going on. Like Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Yasin, "Man ba'athana min marqadina hada." Okay, like when they are resurrected, they will say, "Who's taken us out of this, resting place? We're resting here. What's going on? What is this madness?" Okay, another will describe that more. Okay, He then says, يَوْمَ يَكُونُ النَّاسُ كَالْفَرَاشِ الْمَبْثُوثِ. On that day, people will be like moths. Farash, mabthuth, dispersed. Now, you got the light on in this room. If like a moth or a fly comes in the room, where's it going to go? Straight to the light. And it'll be fizzing around the light, won't it? Now let's say there's 100 moths in this room. What are they going to be doing? Fighting just to get to the light. They're attracted to the light, right? So Allah Ta'ala is describing people on that day will be like that. They will just be like totally lost, like just going in all different directions, trying to find some sort of light, trying to find some sort of where we're supposed to go. And then He describes them as mabthuth. Mabthuth comes from batha, means to be widespread. So they are caused to become widespread and divided. Those people who are true to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will wish to be they will know where to go, right? They will know clearly where to go. Whereas those who are disobedient to Allah, they'll be confused on that day. What's going on? Where are we? Okay, our teachers would say that we should be because of the Prophet ﷺ was explained what's the Qiyamah going to be like. We should, as soon as Qiyamah is going on, we should understand, right? What's going on? Okay, yeah. So now my book's coming. So now this is going to happen. Now the Mizan is going to happen. Now we should know all of this inside out. But those who don't, they're like these moths that are just flying around everywhere. They have no direction, no purpose, no understanding. What's going on? Where is this? What's happening here? Okay, SubhanAllah. Okay, and another thing that mabthuth means is that those people will be divided. Okay, and so this describes one of the states of when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوَدُّ الْمُجْرِمُ لَوْ يَفْتَدِي مِنَ الْعَذَابِ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِبَنِيهِ وَصَاحِبَتِهِ وَأَخِيهِ وَفَصِيلَتُهُ الَّتِي تُؤْوِيهِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ جَمِيعًا ثُمَّ يُنْجِيهِ. The person, the criminal, the person who committed sin in the day on the earth, he will desire on that day just to save himself and for himself to become successful, that he will give up his wife, his brother, those who are close to him, anybody on the earth. He'll just give them all up. He'll ransom them all just for him to be safe. Meaning that he's just so lost, right? He'll just run away from everybody. That's how scary that day is. Yeah, SubhanAllah. Okay, then kalfarash al-mabthuth, like moths, scattered everywhere. Okay, Like Allah Ta'ala, what He tries to do, you see, the reality, the true reality of the Qiyamah, we can't begin to understand. Like Allah Ta'ala, like this al-Qāri'ah, mal-Qāri'ah, wa ma adraka mal-Qāri'ah. Like that coinage, like a word, like a word, means what is the word? What did you know what the word is? Allah Ta'ala only mentions that again in Surah Haqqa. Al-Haqqa mal-Haqqa, wa ma adraka mal-Haqqa. Haqqa is the definitive truth, right? The Qiyamah. Okay. Now we will truly not be able to understand the reality of the Qiyamah because we haven't been there. We don't know what's gonna happen. All Allah Ta'ala is giving us is snapshots. And what Allah Ta'ala beautifully does is He brings parables, or He will bring examples. The people will be like this. It's trying to make you realize next time you see a moth, right, that's like lost, broken, right? Like a moth that is trying to fly around and no purpose. Think that could be you. Like I often think about this. We mentioned this in Surah Humaza. Allah Ta'ala, He says, كَلَّا لَيُنْبَذَنَّ فِي الْحُطَمَةِ. Hutama is like it describes hellfire as being a crusher. And Hutama is, when it's like winter time and you have like leaves and they become curled up and they become crinkling and you do this like that crush. That's called Hutama. And so it just makes you think, like, we see leaves all the time, isn't it? And we might walk, on the street and then just, walk over a leaf and just like, feel that crackle. That Allah Ta'ala is describing there. The point is, this is why it's important to study the Quran. Because when you study the Quran, Allah Ta'ala is bringing you live examples for you to realize right now. Right? Like next time you see a moth or next time you see a fly fly into the room, and think that, Allah Ta'ala, He says, يَوْمَ يَكُونُ كَالْفَرَاشِ الْمَبْثُوثِ. Could be like, these moths, scattered, no purpose. Now, one of the things that you'll realize, look at birds. When birds fly in a pack, what do? You don't have like just flying around in madness. They're all flying in one direction, aren't they? Right? That's one of the beautiful things about birds. But Allah Ta'ala is saying, no, you're not that. You're mabthuth, you're dispersed, you're all over the place. That's what's going to happen to people on that day. Okay? Because they don't understand the gravity of the circumstance. And as a result of that, they're in a state of extreme loss. Okay? Okay. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ كَالْعِهْنِ الْمَنْفُوشِ. وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ كَالْعِهْنِ الْمَنْفُوشِ. So ihn in the Arabic language means wool. Wool that is textured wool. Okay? And manfush relates to like loosening. So what they would typically do is to, if you get wool, it's very kind of like tightly curled up and stuff. You have to bring the wool together and clap it against each other, and that will straighten the wool out, and then that can be used for clothing, right? Otherwise the wool is like coiled, so you have to bring it together and clasp it together. So Allah Ta'ala, He's saying here, and that is known as nafash, when you bring it together and loosen it. So Allah, He's saying here that the mountains, these big mountains that you marvel at and you think, wow, these are huge, they're so big, how big they are in comparison to us. Allah says, they will become like loosened wool. They will just fly off in the sky. And you just think, wow, sometimes you see mountains like so big and stuff like that. And then you just think, subhanAllah, Allah Ta'ala is saying, they will just be, they will just be like, wool that is just loose and just flying off. I was thinking about this. One of the things that I've realized, one of the things that I reflected upon it shows the potential that it just shows the low nature of this world. Like, we marvel at this world thinking, wow, how amazing is it, right? Allah Ta'ala is saying these mountains are nothing. They're nothing to Allah Ta'ala. It's just like wool that's flying off.
Wool, it doesn't even need much wind to fly. You just blow on it and the wool will flow. That's mountains. Okay. Then Allah Ta'ala He says, فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. As for the one whose scales are heavy. Now, the scales that Allah Ta'ala will bring upon Yawm al-Qiyamah, they're not like the scales of Akhirah. In the scales that we have two sides, okay? And the heavier one, if there's more of something, that will mean that it's heavy. No. The scales that Allah Ta'ala will bring is in relation to the deeds. Good deeds are heavy. Bad deeds are weak. They are light. So on Day of Judgment, you shouldn't think like, you're gonna basically have a scale, one side good, one side bad. And whichever is heavier, that means you're gonna go into hellfire. No, Allah Ta'ala is not saying that. Your bad deeds will have no weight. That's the point, right? So the point is, Allah Ta'ala is saying here that you need to make sure like that you're not light on that day. You need to make sure that you're heavy. And how will you be heavy when you have good deeds? That's the point. Okay, that's the point. Okay. So good deeds are important. Allah Ta'ala is saying here, فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُ. Whoever's deeds are heavy. Now, what did we just say in the ayah before? What did we just speak about? The things that turn into what? Mountains. And you think that they're really, really heavy. But Allah Ta'ala is saying that is turning into nothing. So it's interesting the correlation between something going into something that's light, and now Allah Ta'ala is talking about thiql, something which is heavy. Yeah? So that's an interesting correlation. In addition to that, what we notice from this as well is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking really like one of the things, the interesting things you take from that is that your deeds will be the heavy thing. And that you just realize like all of this dunya, everything, like you can describe the entire thing, will just fly away. The only thing is your amal. Are they good enough or not? That's going to be the heavy thing. Nothing else. Nothing else. All of this will just fly off. We think we live in these big houses and we think that they're big and strong and everything. Nothing. Nothing. It will just be rendered not like just wolf flying away. What is the real thing that will have real weight? Your actions. And so what that shows is the potential that you have. You have the potential to be great if you realize. Use your life for good. Don't use it to waste your time trying to amass this dunya. It will fly off anyway. All Allah Ta'ala is interested in is what good you bring. That's it. One of the scholars, he defined what is a good accepted act. Okay, and this is the important thing. Okay, what will make our deeds heavy? Not how many we do. It is all about whether how happy Allah Ta'ala is with them. So you might do a small deed, but Allah is so happy with it, it becomes extremely heavy. And you might do so many big deeds, but Allah Ta'ala is not impressed with them that much. What is the defining factor? Two things. Number one, sincerity. You have to do it sincerely for Allah's sake. A person might look really good and do loads of big, nice deeds, but he's not doing it for Allah Ta'ala's sake. So it doesn't mean anything. Might look big, might look amazing, might do a hajj and wow, but he's just doing it to show off to other people. Or not doing it for Allah's sake, just doing it for somebody else's sake. So then it's rendered, it's just light. So the first thing is it has to be sincere for Allah Ta'ala's sake. And the second thing is what? It has to be correct. According to the Sharia, according to Allah Ta'ala's law, it has to be correct. You can't be sincere and then, drink alcohol. There's no sincerity in that. No, as in, you might be like, yeah, I'm doing what Allah's like, well, it's wrong. Allah Ta'ala said it's wrong, right? So your act that you do, it must be correct according to Sharia. And number two, it must be sincere. And oftentimes you find people are in the wrong ends of that spectrum, right? It's about making a balance between the two. Some people are, yeah, we're totally sincere, but then they're openly sinning. No, you can't do that. And there are people who are doing good acts, but they're not sincere. You have to have a balance between the two. You must have a balance between the two. Allah Ta'ala, He describes in Surah Kahf those like he mentions that really good actions and being heavy on the day of judgment is those who are attached to the truth. Okay, so Allah Ta'ala says, أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ وَلِقَائِهِ فَحَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُمْ فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. That there will those who deny the proofs, the ayat, the verses, the proofs of their Lord, وَلِقَائِهِ, and meeting with Him, فَحَبِطَتْ أَعْمَالُهُم, their works are in vain. فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ, and فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا, and we will not give them on the day of judgment any weight. We will not give them on the day of judgment any type of weight. Okay. What does Allah Ta'ala say about those people who their scales are heavy? فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ رَاضِيَةٍ. Then he will have a pleasant life. Isha is a life of no worries. There's two words for life in Arabic. One is hayat and one is Aisha or Isha. Hayat just means life, but Isha is a life which is easy. No worries, no stress, right? No disturbance. Okay. And Radiya is content, being content with something. So there's one thing having an easy life. Like many people might have like a life in this life which might seem easy. Like my life might be something that is like, if another person had my life, they would be like so happy with it, right? They'd be content with it, right? But I might not be content with it. I'm like, well, you know, I want this and I want that and I want this. But somebody else might be like, oh, I wish I had your life. I'd be so content. So Allah Ta'ala is saying that life, it will be easy for you and you'll be happy, you'll be content. That's for a person whose his scales are heavy because of their good deeds. Okay? May Allah make us of them. Ameen. But then Allah Ta'ala, He then contrasts that. But وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. But for the one whose balance, whose scales of good deeds is light, khaffa. Khaffa means when something is light. Okay? When something is light. Okay? When it's not heavy. Then He says, فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ. Then it's okay? Then his end goal will be the Hawiyah, which is like a pit, an endless pit. Now, Hawiyah, it means like a pit which is really, 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 really deep. And we don't know how deep it is. Okay? Like you would have to go like full speed, right? And it would just take you ages and ages and ages and ages, right? There was a hadith mentioned of the Prophet ﷺ that one time they hear a bang and they're like, what was that bang? And the Prophet ﷺ said that this was a stone that was thrown from the height of hell years and years ago, and now it's just hit the bottom. That's how deep it is. Now, so that's Hawiyah. Now, Allah says here, for Ummuhu Hawiyah. Now, what does mean in Arabic? Mother. So why is he saying that's effectively saying your mother? So his mother will be the Hawiyah. His mother will be this pit, this endless. Think about the mother. When the child is like when the mother sees a child, what does the mother do? Clasps the child, holds on to the child tightly, doesn't want the child to be let go. The person whose deeds are weak on that day, who are not that heavy on that day, that pit will just clasp it and take it in, just like the mother will clasp the child and take it in and not let it go. It's quite graphic how Allah Ta'ala He describes that, yeah. Then Allah Ta'ala, He then ends by saying, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَ. What would make you realize what she is? Meaning the Qāri'ah. Like, what will make you realize what this Qāri'ah is? Now, Allah Ta'ala, He uses the word ma hiya. Now, Qāri'ah is a feminine word, so he could have said وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِي. Yeah? But he puts an extra ta at the end of it, so it is ma hiya, like that. Whenever a ta comes like that on a word, it shows an extra amount of emphasis and like greatness. So an example is the word for standing is qiyam in Arabic. Add a ta to it becomes qiyamah. What do you think about qiyamah? The day of judgment, right? And there's many examples like that, in Arabic language. Okay, where you put like a ta at the end, and it just gives it even more striking meaning. So here, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا هِيَ. Like, what will make you realize what it is? What is this Qāri'ah? What is it? Narun Hamiyah. It is a fire which is blazing. It's a fire which is blazing. Hamiyah is a fire that is like fierce. Okay, like a bushfire. I mean, bushfires are like fierce. They just keep flying. They don't stop. Bushfires, because it's just so hot. It just keeps going. It doesn't even stop. That's what Allah He describes the hellfire.
So at the end of the hole is the fire.
Yeah, that's the bottom of the pit. Yeah. You see, a final point, just 2 points. First is this surah is being put in between Surah At-Takathur and Surah Adiyat. Surah At-Takathur, right, is when we spoke about takathur is this concept of competing and yearning to gain loads and loads. Yeah, to have kathir, to have kathra, to have an abundant amount of something, right? So al-hakum, it's diverted you. So one side, Allah Ta'ala is speaking about those people who have got distracted from their purpose, and all they're doing is yearning to get more and more of the dunya. That's in Surah Takathur. In Surah Adiyat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about inna al-insana li rabbihi lakanud. Indeed, mankind to his Lord has become disloyal, has become loyal, right? As loyalty has been given to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, okay? Compromised. So Allah Ta'ala, He's saying, He brings this surah right in the middle, that these are the people who will end up in this Narun Hamiyah. Those people who the takathur, who the people who wanted excess, that's all they did, and those people whose their loyalty was not with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Allah Ta'ala places them in between these two. Okay. In addition to that, Allah Ta'ala, He mentions in Surah Zilzal, in Surah إِذَا زُلْزَلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا, He says, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ. Whoever does an atom's weight of goodness, he will see it. وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. Whoever does an atom's weight of evil shall see it. So Allah Ta'ala is saying, Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Zilzal, the person who does any act, whether it's small, even if it's the weight of an atom, they will see it. It will come Yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah Ta'ala won't forget. Allah Ta'ala sees everything. But that's not, what is the end point of all those deeds? Whether Allah Ta'ala accepts it or not. So that's what this surah talks about. Right? The acceptance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what sincere and done solely and done correctly. Then what will define whether it's heavy or not? Not quantity. See, this is why it's important not to get the scales of this dunya confused with the scales of the akhirah. Because the scales of this dunya is like heavier because there's more of it. Like if I've got flour and I put it on the scales, the more I put on there, the heavier it's going to be. No. Here is the quality of the act. You might have a small number of acts, but they are so good and so blessed. Allah Ta'ala loves them. We know the famous story of the woman. She was an immoral woman, but she fed water to a thirsty dog. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved that small act so much, despite her many sins. Allah loved that so much, He forgave all her sins and accepted her into Jannah. And the story of the woman who would pray all night and fast all day, but she spoke bad about people. And the Prophet ﷺ said, her prayer won't benefit her and her fasting is not going to benefit her. So it's not about doing lots of acts. This is why I get really upset when people say, "Oh, I've just done this many, did this much extra namaz, or this many khatam." It's not about that. It's never about that, right? Stop thinking that it's about number, right? What's going to make it weighty on the Day of Judgment? Whether Allah accepts it or not. Not whether you do shed loads of it. Okay? So may Allah make us of those people who our acts are sincere and they are done correctly for Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may all our acts be on the mawazin of hasanat, on the scales of goodness in the Day of Judgment, inshallah. Any questions? Ji?
About the woman and the dog, would she not be punished because it's a dog?
No, but it was an animal that was thirsty. So Allah Ta'ala, He loved the mercy that He that she showed that dog. Like that dog was thirsty, and He loved the mercy that she had for him, and so she made effort and gave him water. Still Allah's creation. Doesn't matter whether it's even whatever is Allah Ta'ala's creation. The point is, it's not a dog, could be a cat, could be anything. The fact is the sincerity behind it, is the ikhlas behind it. So Allah Ta'ala loved that. And it's amazing how it contrasts. She was an immoral woman. She was a sinful woman. But Allah loved that. Despite that one act caused all her previous sins to be forgiven. Yeah, so it's about good quality acts, not poor quality loads and loads of acts. Yeah. Okay. Jazakumullah khair wa sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.